our program for the night, right? Open slide night, talking about the roadside architecture. What was our title? What's the title called?
Rundown roadside architecture of the Rocky Mountain West.
What a fantastic title. So how are we gonna run this? Because I know that our program is a series of different folks' slides and a whole bunch of neat stuff to share. I can go through slides or however we want to do it.
I think the best way. We share it this way and we can just start and kind of scroll through the carousel. So I put everyone's name at the top of the files they submitted. So this one is starting off with Tony's.
I just say a few words about.
Sure,
If you want.
yeah.
Well, it's not exactly the Rocky Mountain West. This is actually in the state of Washington. I was driving through there. It's going on 3 years ago now after having delivered a dog out there to a better home that I could give it. And the route I took back takes you through some pretty desolate countryside. There's not a whole lot of population out there, but there's some interesting stuff, especially if you're into major hydroelectric projects. It's that sort. And the Our Cozy Motel, of course, intrigued me, so I took some pictures and edited signs.
Next slide.
Still in business. The sign wouldn't suggest that, but
Americana.
Uh-huh.
yeah. That's because it's leading to like French and all that.
What's hanging off of the M?
You know, I
It's
don't
an
know.
arrow. I think it's an
I
arrow
guess,
pointing
yeah.
at the motel.
Remains of an arrow, I guess. I don't know.
Because you have the big arrow on the other one, so it's probably another arrow that goes down. If you're at the right angle, you probably catch it.
Just either that or it's pointing out to like where you might see a coyote or something.
Where is Coulee City, Washington?
You know where Coulee Dam is?
No.
It's
Like.
It's west of Spokane, but quite a ways north.
Okay.
You get into Canada probably in a half hour.
Okay.
It's not far from the Idaho.
Okay.
But there's some real interesting geography out there.
Hmm.
If you're into things like glacial erratics,
Oh.
things of that nature, why it's a fascinating time. I'm here to tell you.
So Josh, for this one's mine, and there's 4, and I was just gonna put 1 photo in. But what I like about it is it shows me taking photos as I'm passing it, trying to get like every side of it, because I'm sure lots of people recognize this A-frame because it's in Denver. I haven't passed near it recently to check on it, but I really wish someone would buy it and make it like a cool Airbnb with like a restaurant or a bar or something. I was tested like 6 months ago and it looked exactly like that still, so.
Except
Yeah.
the sign's
The
not.
sign is gone.
Yeah, they sold,
Oh,
they sold the
sign's
sign in 2021.
Oh.
And I had photographed it just a few months before the sign was sold to a private collector.
Yeah. Where is it?
Where is it, Brie?
I always On- forget if it's 70 or. It's
I think
76.
76.
76 on your way to Henderson and right,
Oh,
yeah, way east.
Yeah, my favorite thing is the Conica sign that still has the gas prices from probably the 1980s when it was last opened.
This
Yeah.
is a really amazing building. My mom, I'm from Golden and my mom's from like the Lakewood area. And whenever we'd go on road trips when I was a kid, we'd always pass this and she's like, when I was a kid, so this has obviously been, out for a really long time. She's like, whenever I was a kid, our whole family would stop here and we would, eat breakfast before these huge road trips that we would take. And I think it's really incredible because all these things we're seeing are these huge stories about architecture and the meaning for the community, right?
Yeah.
And the meaning for individuals. And to restore them all is really incredible because it gives a meaning to people's memories that they've held for so long. So it would be cool if they turned it into something. And it would like develop Henderson and all those areas up there that are so heavily farmland and kind of rugged individualism in very interesting signs.
And oil, all the oils.
It's like a restaurant, gas
Yeah.
station, like a little bit of everything.
So you can see it, like it has so it has a martini glass on top. Josh, if you scroll through, I think maybe I have a closer one, I can't tell.
It's like
Mark, I'm
martini
sure
and
you have a
coffee
better
cup.
photo of this too.
I have so many
But
of this.
There's a martini, there you go. There's a martini glass on top,
And a
which I
coffee
love.
cup.
And a coffee cup
Which
for
I
the
find
lounge, yeah,
hilarious.
for the lounge, and I'm sure there was a
Moss Rock.
cafe sign.
Do we think, should we check to make sure everybody online can hear us if we're talking from our chairs?
Yeah.
Can you hear us talking, or we need to go to the podium?
No, sorry, we can hear you. I
You're
can hear
good.
you.
Great.
Yep, you're good.
Just
Thanks.
wanted to make sure.
It was also, because I did a bunch of research, a lot of times I find these things, photograph them and research them. It was also a gentleman's club for a while,
Oh, I can see that.
kind of towards the very end.
Yeah.
Pretty seating place.
I bet the proprietor lives in the.
Probably in the first part of the apron setup. But it looks like there's almost 3 stories. You can see almost a main level, a second, a third.
Mhm.
It
I bet
almost,
they almost lived in the top 2.
it looks like it might have started off as a conventional gas station. And then maybe they added the apron.
Yeah.
Remember they had the A-frame and then built the little like frame next to it.
Wings.
Mark, did
Really,
you-
a building is a billboard.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Right? You could literally paint a billboard on the roof if you really wanted to.
Absolutely.
Did
So
you find out anything about the currently or past on?
I didn't know, all I know is that it's been closed for a while and that the sign was sold to a private collector in late 2021.
It's a bummer.
Yeah, real bummer. Cause I mean, and what I really liked about your motel, first of all, you show the sign, but then you show the sign with the motel.
Yeah.
And when we photograph these signs, it's real important to also photograph
There's
the rest that goes with it.
like that cavern right off of Highway 25.
Exactly.
I noticed that the signs there,
Yeah,
the
The
motel's
signs,
gone.
but just to
Yeah.
have the context of what it
Right.
actually belongs to.
Mhm.
Cause now
Yeah.
this sign is gonna probably go up somewhere and it's not gonna have the same meaning.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Or some of the buildings that don't have signs, like Littleton Boulevard used to have neon signs on most of the businesses, and there's a couple crazy buildings that like, the building looks fairly simple, but when you see the old neon sign that used to sit on the roof, you're like, oh, that would have been really loud, and it kind of makes you sad when you see that it's gone and that it was actually part of the architecture itself was the sign, and so it's definitely a bummer when you lose them and you lose that. Or like even on Littleton Boulevard, you can't like have the giant neon signs anymore. They've talked about allowing some of them to come back, but it makes you sad when they put those ordinances in place too.
You ever find yourself torn over preservation or just letting, dust become dust? I mean,
Mhm.
I don't want to, my bias is stabilize them.
Right.
Don't restore them. I don't, just stabilize them. Don't let them deteriorate more than they already have and everything's.
Well, yeah, and it's just like the Benjamin Moore sign near here.
Mhm.
That was redone last year and it's not original. They completely scrapped it and they recreated it as aluminum and then LED lights.
And my understanding with that from our neon shop tour that we did with
Uh-huh.
Todd at Maury's.
Oh, you went to Todd's, cool.
Oh my God, it was so amazing. Like a 4-hour workshop. We got to bend glass. It was
Oh,
so
cool.
neat. But my understanding from that workshop is Denver and a lot of municipalities, their guidelines are the sign needs to stay in place, the original sign, and you can repair it in place, but once you take it down, it can't go back up.
Oh, Jesus.
Because it would have to be re-permitted.
Well, so then you gotta get a cherry picker and somebody.
Well, and then you
they're-
have to
they're-
schedule the sign laws to be the same.
Their argument is once it's been removed, it's
Yeah.
been detached from its like site of context.
Yeah.
So I think it's to try to eliminate people from taking signs and putting them up where they don't have, they don't have linked
Right.
historic context or it's not the original site. But that means it's super costly to save the signs. So like you're saying,
Well-
Tony, well, can we keep them as they are,
Yeah,
but
stabilize.
stabilize them in
Well,
some way?
yeah, it's really pain in the ass, isn't it? I mean, it's fragile and and I mean, when was the last time you saw one that was perfect?
Right.
You
Well,
know,
and
you know, You know,
Bending glass and having.
right,
the
exactly, they got those
gas line,
connections,
yeah.
and yeah, so, right.
There's a lot of.
Yeah, I can understand, that's not my money. you know,
Right,
I mean,
yeah.
They don't side money,
Yeah.
but, right.
Yeah, so doing it on a lift, it's like,
Right,
really, I
yeah.
have to go to the shop, bend this glass, put it back in there, put it on a
No,
lift.
ain't quite right, back in the shop.
And the next spring a hailstorm rolls
Oh
through.
my
There you
God.
The snow plows, the snow plow
Yeah.
throws snow on them.
Yeah.
I worked at a bowling alley as a teenager
Me too.
and we'd have busted out neon
Oh.
every single year.
Yeah.
Cause the snow plow, it was too close to the road and the snow plow would throw snow at it. And
I didn't
it
even think about that.
it busts the neon out.
That's probably why there's a perfect neon sign in downtown St. Pete that's a globe that spins. It's one of my favorite neon signs
Yeah.
anywhere. I guess I could have contributed that to this, put a little video, but it's in perfect shape, but it's also in Florida, but it has gone through some hurricanes, but they keep it maintained. It's super neat. It's like in a parking lot.
Is it near salt water?
Yeah, it's really close to the ocean. It's like a half-mile from the ocean and it's in great shape.
You see what cars do that live near the ocean?
Oh my gosh.
They rust from the top down. I can imagine that it's not.
It
Yeah.
looks perfect, I'll put it that way.
So any of those signs are galvanized, right?
Galvin zinc.
In the,
right?
in the
Yeah.
paint doesn't stick to
Maybe they,
galvanized.
No.
maybe they, yeah, I mean, they were all steel, but like in Wildwood, New Jersey, I did a whole weekend sign tour. Seagulls break the signs there because they'll pick up shells from the beach. And they'll let
Drop
you
'em.
break them on the sign. So when I was at the neon repair shop there, he showed us all sorts of.
Oh my God.
Well, tell us
So-
about this one.
So sure, so this image is, this is in Whitewater, Colorado from May of 2022. I always put in the name of the location, what I shot it with, and the date. So this was shot on film. I try to shoot signs and all this stuff on film because it keeps it more period specific and I feel it gives it the, you know, the more authentic look. This is outside of Grand Junction, as I was headed into Montrose. And it's a semi-abandoned property. Rumor has it that there is a really cranky old lady that if people get too close to the property, she'll come out and she'll start threatening people. So I was ready with pepper spray and whatever I needed.
I like that it looks like a little pioneer hut.
It's really neat. It's really neat, but in a
Feels
lot
like
of
it belongs
cases when
inside.
they,
Stockade.
yeah. I really try to, when I go to these locations, if there is somebody living there, I try to give advance notice or knock on the door and say, hi, I'm visiting, and
Your sign is great. Can I take a
yeah,
photo?
exactly.
Is it circular or semicircular?
It's circular. It's circular. Again, I didn't go around to the other side because I stayed completely off the property when I photographed this.
Is the upper structure logs?
Looks like precast cement logs, doesn't it?
I would honestly have to really look at a close up. I mean, it looked to me like it was all wood and logs,
Looks like
Yeah.
logs.
but I really like the sign too,
Log.
how it has the arrow and how they tilted the letters.
Yeah. So what side of Highway 50 is it on?
I would have to look at it on a map.
If you were going southbound, was it on the right or on the left?
It was on the left as I was going southbound. So this one, also shot on film. This was from 2017. This is in Fort Morgan. The drive-in theater is no longer there. But I thought the sign itself was really cool. And I like the fact that there's a cornfield in the background.
I also like that little step up so someone can stand on that platform and change out the letters.
Yeah. I'm
Exactly.
assuming for when
I
it had the
haven't-
movies, that's what it was for.
Yeah, I haven't seen that before. That's funny.
I'm surprised that no one's got creative with that. in
Yeah.
Their feature, you
Yeah.
know?
Surprised no one's spray
Does it-
painted it, but
Does
maybe
the
they have.
platform roll so they can have access to the whole side?
That's a good question.
walkway along.
Oh, it's a
Yeah.
walkway.
Mhm.
Yeah, I
Can't
see.
walk.
And I don't understand what all these precast cement.
Try to keep
blocks
people
are.
from running into it because
Yeah,
people keep it.
people parking.
Right?
That makes, yeah.
You hope they won't run into it, but maybe when they're coming in or leaving the drive-through a little intoxicated, they,
Well, and a lot of
Needed a
times when you come in and go, you can't have your headlights on.
oh, that's
Oh.
true. So that also is probably part of it.
I learned that the hard way.
Yeah, that's a rude reminder.
I turned on the headlights and. I was down at the Cinderella Twin when that was still around.
Oh, yeah.
So this next one, this is called the Wonder Tower. It's on I-70, almost to the Kansas border. I photographed this also in 2017. This is a digital image. Rumor has it that this tower is gonna be restored, that it is gonna
It is
it is.
What? By who?
Ghost Town Club of Colorado.
Nuh-uh. Josh's club.
There's a group that has purchased this building and property, and it's Reed Weimer and his wife.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and they have been putting a lot of money into restoring the land, and they're working on the tower. I visited the site end of the summer, and they have demoed the interior of the tower. And they are working on a kind of reinforcing the structure to make it a kind of a destination landmark as it used to be when the highway went next to this wonderful tower that from the top of the tower you can actually see 5 or 6 different states, which is remarkable.
They created a 501c3.
Yeah.
Are going to be doing a really neat job.
I was wondering how you would see the 6 states, but that makes
Yeah,
sense.
so I'm wondering what are the 6 states?
You definitely can't see 6 states. It's absolutely 1920s
Gimmicky,
roadside.
awesome.
Basically snake oil.
Yeah.
kind of.
Well, I imagine it's like a museum where you could see.
It was
Artifacts
two-headed animal.
Yeah, I've been out there a couple of times, and yeah, they've got a couple of state historic funds, and there's a group that's been advocating for this place for years and years. One of the really funny things is at the very top of that tower, to advertise, there were a bunch of old mannequins, and the guy would put them up against the windows in the tower. So it looked like there were a whole bunch of people up there. And the first time we went to clean it, I've been out there cleaning it out a few times. It was the ultimate hoarder. I mean, really cool stuff, but all the buildings were just, you could barely walk through them. There was so much stuff. Craig, you probably saw that when you were out there. And
Yeah.
amazing artifacts. And they have a fundraiser. They've had it for a couple of years. A pie day.
Pie.
Yeah,
I
right.
attended the summer. It was really fun.
Yeah, all the people in town make pies and raise money for the Wonderview Tower. It's really an awesome spot.
That little shanty hanging off at the bottom
Yeah.
that sticks out before you get up to the very top, that's the stairs.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
so Josh, what's the ghost town's involvement with it?
We just donated stuff, and we've done a few volunteer days. Cause Ann was out there a couple times.
I'm so happy to hear that this is gonna get a new. And Reed, I haven't met Reed, but he's been photographing neon signs in Denver, and he has a lot of really cool old photos.
Mhm.
Even if the 6 state thing is a complete lie, I would be out there in a heartbeat.
That's the thing, they gotta figure out a way to make this work.
I like
This
pie.
project,
Yes.
yeah, but it's gotta have the thought is that it's a destination thing with the
I mean, that's what it once was.
RVs and all this stuff, but it's a drive to get out there.
How far off an interstate is it?
It's close enough. You can see it from the
5
interstate.
minutes. Oh, okay.
Beyond Lyman.
Or hour and a half drive.
So you gotta do the wall drug thing and start putting up.
There's
signs.
all.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yes.
Very good.
There's an old stagecoach stop that's down just below it,
Really?
If it takes
19th century stuff, because the stage went
I've
along
watched
the
it
highway.
deteriorate over the years.
And,
Oh, you have?
and also as you drive through this town, a lot of the telephone lines still have glass insulators. And I'm mildly obsessed with glass insulators. I like to photograph them.
You never see them installed anymore. I see them all the time in antique stores.
Yeah,
but-
You know, they're installed there and there are lots in New Mexico and Utah.
Yeah.
With this is.
Tom, this is you. Tom Hart, you're up.
Right. This is Oregon, Portland, Oregon. So not exactly Rocky Mountain West, but this is at the Hoyt Arboretum. We were out there probably pre-COVID, just walking through the park and saw this really cool picnic shelter. I have no idea who designed it, but there you go. This is the only photo I could find that was on topic.
There's some amazing stuff like that in all kinds of parks that, you know.
All the cover beaches, parks, all of it. They all have really neat like restrooms and beach huts and camping huts and picnic huts.
Oh, I know what that is.
So remember, the assignment was interesting architecture. My stuff kind of leans toward interesting over architecture, but this is what's left of the Castlewood Canyon Dam.
Oh.
Near Franktown.
Yep.
It's about 600 feet long and 70 feet high from the reservoir floor, 8 feet wide at the crest, 50 feet at the base. And it failed in 1933, releasing about 1.7 billion gallons of water. I want to go to the next slide. There's a couple more pictures of it. No,
Flooded the whole area
We'll get that.
where my house is.
Flooded the city of Denver.
Absolutely.
About 15 feet of water. So. This picture here is out of Garfield County, Colorado, and that's the, it's not as much architecture as it is infrastructure, but it's an emplacement well where they did fracking with a nuclear bomb back in 1960.
Wondering if they had something to do with the
69.
bomb.
One way to do it.
That's the top of it.
I like this though. It's like modern technology.
That's.
Yeah, I walked Castlewood Canyon a lot as a kid because I grew up over there. So if I said what a teenager usually does when you go hiking, I did.
Our Boy Scout troop went camping at Castlewood.
Oh.
This is also in the Castlewood Canyon area. This is, it's a homestead built by Irish immigrants in the late 19th century. They settled in there in 1893. They built the home in 1898. And it was destroyed by fire in the 1960s. But the interesting thing is it's a homestead, but the owner built his home out of concrete, which in the late 19th century was very, very unusual.
It's unusual today.
So the original homestead of one after this, the original homestead of Castlewood Canyon, my friends grew up in. So I had to drive through Castlewood Canyon when I was in high school to go get my friend, which was terrifying, by the way. She sometimes wouldn't go to school because it was snowing, but she had the original homestead on the other side of the park. So if you had to drive through everything to the far end, and they ended up actually, the park now owns it because her dad was into restoring vintage Land Rovers and things. So he had a 6-car garage, so it's perfect. So they store some snowplows and things in there now and have a ranger that lives in the house. But her house was built in like 1890 originally and then had a 50s edition on it. But yeah, she grew up on the other side of the park. So I'm very familiar with all of it wandering through there. So it's like, oh, a nice high school memory. So thank you for that. I haven't thought about it in a while.
That's a beautiful ruin.
Super pretty.
That's part of the dam. That's the missing part on the right. Washington.
Isn't there a story that there was a neighbor that knew that the dam was gonna break? And he went down and crawled down that shaft to the valve and opened up the valve something or warned them or something? There's some story about that?
Not that I've heard.
See, that sounds familiar, and I went on a lot of field trips down there and that does sound familiar.
Sounds risky.
Yeah.
There's a ladder in that concrete shaft, isn't
I don't
there?
know if I
Yeah,
would crawl
there's a
down
ladder
the
there
shaft
somewhere.
of a dam. I don't know.
That's just
Yeah,
the.
there it
That's
is.
Main one as well.
76.
Oh,
Hey, guys, I've lost the, are you still sharing the screen?
Yes.
For some reason, I'm not getting it, but,
Is
Can
anyone else?
anybody else see it?
I can see it.
oh. Well, I
Maybe
probably,
go out and come back in and see if it'll
Okay.
let you load into it and maybe see if it'll pop back up.
okay, I will do that, thanks. Oh, no, I just found it.
Mhm.
Yep, I got it. Thank you.
I said Rio Blanco, Garfield.
It's interesting, so basically they don't want anybody going to a depth of 6,000 feet. So I'm sure they'll get some really yucky stuff.
Yeah.
yeah. I
So
remember
the day they detonated that thing, I was at the Holiday Inn in Grand Junction. And we all knew that this was gonna happen. I think it was at 1 PM. And so a bunch of us guys, we all were from Denver, then we used to travel the Western Slope. And we said, well, let's go out and sit by the swimming pool and see if we can, because they said you might be able to feel it. And, so we're all looking at the water and we don't go in the pool because we want it to be still. And the water in the pool just moved a little bit, just like that. And that was it.
That's something.
How far away from the explosion were you?
Probably 90 miles.
I had no idea they did any of that in Colorado.
Yeah.
This is the inside of one of the buildings on the Vindicator Valley Mining Trail near Victor, Colorado. It's about 10,000 feet up elevation, but there's a whole slew of mining structures that go back to the late 18th century. So I have another picture of the outside, but this is the inside. It's got the mortar and like actual logs that they cut down the trees to build it. So that was pretty neat. This goes back to the atomic test. That's where all the equipment was. You can see the concrete pad back there. And then that angle that goes up, there's actually a home off to the right that somebody lives there. And it's actually on private property. It's off of 70, way back off of a gravel dirt road. And somebody owns that land and there's a little fence there. It's an interesting story. There's a fence there to keep people off. And I went with my family. And I stood on the fence trying to get a good picture of that, and I hear a voice off in the distance saying, "Oh, you can come over and get closer to it." And there was this woman coming out of the woods, and I was like, "All right, that's pretty cool." So I was like, "Come on, family, let's go look at this." And my daughter was very young at the time, and so she comes walking out of the woods, and then there's like her dog, which was not really a dog, it was more like a whiskey barrel with fur, coming out of the forest, and my eyes almost popped out of my head, and my first thought was, "Oh my God, I've killed my family." And it was just barreling towards us. She's like, "Oh, he's nice," and I'm like, "I don't know about that." He ran up and he hit my daughter and knocked her down, and my wife tried to pet him and took her whole hand and consumed it. He was very friendly. The dog's name was Ruger, but I was terrified of him when he came running down.
Do you hear like the never ending story as he's like running towards you and see the big black dog trying to get you?
I thought it was all over when that dog showed up. Now this goes back to the Vindicator Valley Mining. They have a ton of old mines up there, all in various states of what they call arrested decay. They don't preserve, they don't do a whole lot to keep them up, but they keep them up enough so you can look at it. So they got lots of old mines up there. There's a whole trail, and you can see about a century worth of mines up there from operation from like 1895 to 1965.
Josh, have you been to that one?
I was about to ask.
Where is this?
That's in Victor, Colorado. It's
Oh,
near-
okay. I feel like you just walk up there and look at it.
Do you have to take a 4x4 up here to that one?
No, it's a hiking trail.
Okay.
You pull off to the side of the road, it's a little park, you park your car, then you just walk up a gravel, it's all gravel pathway up there, you just follow it, just a big loop. But it's pretty strenuous, because you're at like 10,000 feet elevation, it's loose gravel. You gotta walk up to it.
There used to be tons of buildings up there on the top of the hill. But that gold mine at Victor is just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And it's like 6 or 7 ghost towns that used to be up on top of that site.
They're taking them out as they expand.
I heard that Victor's like growing as a city, and that would make sense if it's doing it as for a gold mine.
I've been up there.
I heard it's
The
actually
gold
pretty
mine.
neat.
Yeah.
Who doesn't love a good post?
Oh, is this Heritage Square?
This is in Parker, this is behind the Parker Performing or their Pace Center, which you see in the back. And those 3 posts are all that's left of what used to be a 378-foot wooden trestle that was the longest on the line of the Denver and New Orleans Railroad, about 1881. Used to cross Sulphur Gulch, and the railroad didn't last long. Made it as far south as Franktown, that's it. That's all that's left of those 3 pieces of wood.
Wow.
I grew up in Parker and never knew that was there, so.
And just behind the Pace Center, off the trail.
I'm blanking on, that reminds me of, what rail line it was, but have you done the hike up in Leadville by Turquoise Lake? And you can hike to the tunnel that caved in, and it was, you can walk along, you hike on the bed of the railroad tracks. Is that what it is? It's a pretty cool hike, and it's, I would say it's like not super strenuous. Like you don't work very hard to get like really beautiful views, and you can backpack there too if you want to. But it's really cool because there's always ice in the tunnel. The temperature just maintains that lower level where there's always some ice in the bottom. But it's pretty crazy for how much work they put into it. And there was like a more permanent camp called Douglas City that was there. And there's a really funny sign that describes the city. But in terms of short-lived railroad routes, like cool remnants, that's a cool one that
Sounds like it.
yeah, I've been to.
There's our pal Ruger.
Oh my God.
I promise you he was much larger. They're at the Vindicator mine. Inside of that, chimney.
That's a cool shot. It makes me wonder, is it like materials that were available, or if like the family had experience with fire before? Cause I feel like that's always the thing, whenever people have had experience with fire back then, they would come back and build it in brick or concrete or stone, or like overbuild it so that they didn't run that risk.
Although you think brick would have been the more natural choice. All the formula.
Plenty of sand and aggregate there.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah.
Look how steep the roof was.
I just wonder how you cast that too.
Yeah,
Board form.
Word forming, yeah.
yeah.
But it's interesting because you can, like on the one of the previous photos of the outside where you can see the exterior, it's like the boards were meeting like end to end, like he wasn't overlapping them,
Mhm.
which I thought was interesting, that there's a pretty visible vertical seam.
Form panel.
Yeah, yeah, which I just wouldn't expect them to be doing it that way.
Mhm. Be pretty certain about where your windows and doors are going to.
That's true.
Well,
If I recall correctly, I think that Thomas Edison patented a form of building homes with concrete. Does anybody know about that?
Well,
Yes, that is true. Some of those homes still exist in New Jersey.
oh,
interesting.
was it like board form concrete though, or are we talking like permastone?
You know,
Not sure exactly, but they're built entirely out of concrete.
yeah. I don't think they were precast.
That's the outside of the house that had a log interior.
Oh,
A
that's
neat one.
interesting. Huh.
Where's this?
where's that?
That's back at the Victor mining area. that house, there's another one there too. It's interesting. You can still see the old wallpaper stuck to the walls. coming off. That still had hardwood floors in there. You weren't allowed to get in. There was a fence on the front porch that someone had already peeled back, so I managed to worm my way in and get some of the interior pictures.
There used to be one up there that was a brothel. It was a single story and had a whole bunch, one whole row of cribs, rooms down one side of it.
I did see there was a single story house there. I didn't know if there was, some family had been mining there for like 5 generations. I don't know if it was that house or the other house, but I did see they didn't mention that on the tour. No signs about that. That's just more of the view up there in Rifle. That's pretty.
What a beautiful building.
You can go right into those too. You can walk right up to them, and some of them you can actually go inside and you'll still see the big reels with the cables that they use to pull elevators or whatever up and down the shaft. Go right up to them. And the last thing, so I got so many pictures here. Those are the Redstone coke ovens. Those are south of Glenwood Springs. They would use those back in the turn of the century, 18th century. 19th century for making cooking coal for steel production. They used to have 249 of these ovens, and these are right off the road. They're right there. Used to have 249 of them, only 90 remain.
Wow.
There's a couple more pictures. Well, now we're back to Rifle, but interesting you mentioned the pool, the water in the pool moving a little bit. This is actually probably a half mile down from the blast site. What you can see is the land, there was a cause an avalanche. All the rocks, the whole mountainside shook from the blast and brought all that rock down.
Is the area still radioactive?
If there is any, there probably is, it's 6,000 feet down on the well,
Okay.
nothing on the surface. That's why they don't want you drilling down there. Digging holes and stuff. But it's in rock, so it's safe. It's way down. There's more of those coke ovens.
You photographed those, Alan?
I did, but it's on film and it's being digitized now.
Oh. Is that near Ludlow?
No, it's
Is
between
that-
Carbondale and Aspen.
No, it's just south of Glenwood Springs. like,
Oh, okay.
South.
Okay. There's one outside.
And back in the
Yeah.
60s, people
Yeah,
actually tried to
Aspen,
think of those
too.
things for a while.
Oh,
That's the interior of the house. It's as close as I can.
Coming down those winders with cowboy boots on.
no railing either for you. Don't trip.
Okay, so transitioning to Idaho Springs gas station. This is the Sinclair that you see right when you come into town. I feel like I take a photo of this every time I'm there because I just feel like it's too good to be true that it still has so many original components.
And it's still functioning as a gas station.
Yeah, exactly.
That's so cool,
Yeah,
because a lot of them have been converted to other things.
and
That's so cool.
I've had my eye on a couple that are in Denver too. There's one, there's one in like, I wanna say it's like Whittier or 5 Points out that way that I've had my eye on. Again, I haven't biked by it lately. Maybe it's gone. I hope it's not. And then there's another one that's out past Lakewood, or it's in Wheat Ridge rather, that I have my eye on too. And
Yeah,
The car in Nevada.
Yeah.
There's one in Manitou Springs too.
And there's
Yes.
one near me, near Montview in Havana.
That canopy design, was that Sinclair or?
I think Phillips 66.
Cause I hadn't seen them until like 8 years.
oh, really?
Yeah, I don't think I hadn't seen them out in the Northwest.
Oh, yeah.
I'm assuming they were built in the 50s, maybe in the
Yeah.
60s.
Well, and it
Yeah.
makes sense too for snow, it would slide off
Yeah.
the roof.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of the one on South Broadway near,
Right.
is a,
Coffee shop.
yeah, it's a sandwich place, I
Yeah.
think. And then there's one on East Colfax.
Benzina.
That, yeah, near the Bluebird there.
Yeah.
So I mean, thankfully they've kept some of these and have reused them.
Yeah.
Well, and I wanna say my friend's spa is in the one that's on 19th and Youngfield. It used to be Lemonade Architects.
Oh.
She has one, but it doesn't have the extension on the side of the building. It's just obviously where the gas station,
Yeah. Yeah.
gas pumps used to be, but hers has been rehabbed. It was an architecture firm and now she has a spa. If we ever wanted a field trip, I'm sure she would welcome us. She did blue poured terrazzo and the whole space. It's super neat.
Yeah, I love that this one still has the tilted glass windows too, because I feel like it's always a toss up if that's still there or not. But this is also, I feel like this photo for me is also a reminder, we did a talk about Tom Nixon up there in regards to the brutalist school that he designed that's across the interstate. And it's just prompted more notations about the modernist homes that are in Idaho Springs. And there are some modernist hotels that kind of got renovations in the 80s. Someone up there thinks that Tom Nixon designed one of them, so it requires more research. So we're just piecing some things together up there, but Idaho Springs is on our radar that you don't think of it with modernism, but they got
No, it's
stuff
like a
there.
Victorian houses.
Yeah.
Wow.
And look how nice that lives in the Old West.
So nice.
It's right in.
The
Especially
red
with
truck is practically as old as the building.
It is, yeah.
That red truck will outlive all of us. Don't worry.
It's the same vintage.
Okay, and then Nick, I don't know if you can give some context to the shelter, but this is a shelter on a like a backcountry road going to a 10th Mountain Division hut outside Basalt. So we had driven through, I can't remember there's a canyon right there that we were driving through past Basalt to get to the trailhead. And we randomly came across this, like on the trail.
And that was near where the 10th Mountain Division,
Uh-huh.
might be a
It's-
bunker.
It's a service road, because usually their huts are along a service road and then you peel off onto a trail that actually takes you to the hut. So this was on a road that's accessible in the
We're
warmer
talking
months.
about the cabins, not the army base.
Right, the cabins, yeah, the huts, yeah. But my friends, I was, of course, with a group of other architecture and design friends, so we were kind of nerding out over this and wondering what it could be. We went up, but I think once we got into that little shelter area, there was a door. So it looked very facility oriented, so we were kind of like, is there something underneath this? Is this purely like a shelter for doing, like, as they're doing maintenance on the roads back here, because it is a pretty remote area with no service. But it was a really interesting, like, modern site to see out in the wilderness.
Sure looks like the entrance to a secret underground
Right.
to me.
James Bond movie.
Yeah.
That's what always thick walls there, so I'd say it's probably part of something more substantial
Yeah,
than just, storage or.
right. Yeah, you're right. It is.
So
pretty
funny
big.
because the angle which you took it at, it looks like it could be 4 feet, 5 feet, 10 feet. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's no concept.
Oh. Adam, I think we have a couple more photos. Do we want to finish photos? And
Sure, finish photos.
I wanted to put some Herbert Beyer in here because he's my favorite lately. And when I first moved to Denver, I saw these sculptures and I didn't realize whose they were or what they were, and I've become obsessed with them. And so I love that while Herbert Beyer's presence is mainly known in Aspen, I love that Denver and also other places. My recollection, and correct me if I'm wrong, but this original sculpture is in, I want to say Spain or Mexico. Is it Mexico?
Mexico City.
Mexico.
Mexico City. It was the 1968 Mexico City Summer Olympics. And just to add, he collaborated with Matthias Goritz, who was at the Bauhaus with Beyer. Goritz was doing the site plan and he invited Beyer to come and do the sculpture. So the one in Mexico City is 60 feet tall, where this is 85. And it's also yellow. And it's still there. It's It's not in very good shape, but you can still find it in Mexico City.
And then the next one is another one of his sculptures, which again is at one of the newer train stops. This one is like near Baker neighborhood. And again, I was like, oh, that's so cool. And then I didn't really connect the dots until I went to the Aspen Institute and stood under a similar sculpture. And again, I just love that it's in Denver. And I think that these are public art pieces where people walk by them probably all or drive by them all the time and they don't realize like that they're done by a master, that they have Bauhaus history and connection, and that it's they're really big art pieces for our city to have. And I think they're just very kind of understated public pieces. People don't really realize what's there.
And this one was installed only a few years ago.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, newer installation.
That
Nice.
the first one you looked at, the tall yellow, was 1983, and it was one of the last works Bayer did.
Yeah,
How many times has that been repainted, I wonder?
that's a good question. When that's a photo that I took last summer, and I was pleasantly surprised with like at least at the 6 foot height perspective, the paint seemed like it
Yeah,
was
I
in
got it in
better shape.
2021 and it
Yeah,
looked pretty fresh.
Yeah.
And I meant with our weather and all that, I imagine
I've
it's.
never seen anybody working on it, but
yeah.
looks
They
good,
work on it at night when no one's watching.
right?
I did throw in a couple of signs from Colorado Boulevard since, Alan also lives in that neighborhood too. But this is one that I pass all the time and there's kind of a.
By the Home Depot.
Yeah. And this is one where I really hope it doesn't go away, but you never know. So I try and take a photo every time I see it.
The roof was part of my teenage years.
I can't imagine anybody throwing them away these days.
You know,
I mean, they
you
gotta know
want
that
things
somebody will
that-
buy them. I mean,
Or basically take it down with
I mean,
a
that-
front loader.
20 years
Like
ago,
they did
maybe,
in
yeah,
Chicago.
scrap.
Yeah.
It does happen though, like
What is that?
Darziano's,
Yeah,
It's an
just
Elmhurst
thrown away.
and I'll show you later.
Yeah.
I
It's
think
really
that somebody's, wouldn't mind putting a little extra scratch.
Yeah.
But
Well, this one has all
That's what I
kinds
get
of
for
faults
thinking.
on it, so I bet it had some movement to it at one time.
I love that the drink turns into the arrow.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very well done.
And then these ones are gonna hop around a little bit, but when I was in Utah a few years ago, we stopped at the dam. And the Carl Hayden Visitor Center is really what struck me, to be in the natural Utah landscape and then to see like this monolith of modern technology was pretty cool. And again, very like James Bond villain vibes for sure. But the visitor center I found to be really understated. So Josh, if you go to the next slide, this was really understated to everyone else in my group except me, where I was like, oh my God, what is this building? I want to learn all about it. And they were closed when we went. We were there in October, and I think we had just missed their open season. But the building just really struck me as like clearly a wonderful example of international style, and it's in the kind of middle of nowhere border of Arizona and Utah. So I threw in some of these photos because there were some really interesting details to it. Like I love the motif that's on the circular portion of the building, and you kind of see that throughout in other areas of it too. And it's a really low, long building, which again like complements the landscape. The tones, the neutral tones and materials they use also complement it. And this was another one where it just really seemed like they haven't made a ton of updates. Like a lot of things haven't been touched. Josh, if you go to the next one, so they have essentially like an observation deck, which again, I was like, let me in this building. I think I looked it up after, and I want to say it was like the early mid 60s, I think.
Carl Hayden visitors.
Yeah. And so it's crazy because when you come to it from the front, you're like, okay, wow, this is a really interesting modern building. And then when you go around the back to the observation portion, you're like, oh my gosh, this is partially cantilevered over the rock. And they have these really cool support members, and there was a metal carriage that's in another photo.
The track.
Yes. So I don't know if it's we were trying to figure out if it was purely maintenance, like, is it just for window washing?
Yeah. That'd be terrifying.
Yeah, or a really cool job, you know? I mean, window washing is scary as it is. So I was like, well, would I rather risk it on a beautiful canyon or like a skyscraper?
Wow.
Yeah, so that's just like good perspective of how close you are to the bridge that goes across the canyon. It's a great show.
The sliders didn't open, did they?
I didn't get to go in.
Oh,
I don't know. I know, I gotta go back when they're open.
Were you hanging on to something to get this picture?
There was a fence and I was
Oh.
definitely like leaning over and my mom, I was with my mom and a bunch of their older retired friends. I crashed their Utah trip. And my mom was like, will someone hold on to her jacket, please? But this is like the observation. They had a little observation like walking area. So I was standing over by that fence there and you can kind of see, there's another photo of it, but you can see this metal basket over here and how it's attached to the little eave of the round portion of the building on that track.
So it is window washing.
Yeah, it's window washing.
You couldn't get in it though.
Her mom stopped her.
Yeah, my mom was like, that's too far. Yeah. So
I
there's a
do love the
photo.
aggregate that they use though for the.
Okay. Yeah. But yeah, it was a very unexpected, delightful find in the middle of Utah. Oh yeah, and then they had the reflecting pool with the fountain, like again, like this wonderful international style building, just not where I would have expected it.
Where's the Marlowe's, the building that the Marlowe's did, that's the visitor center that's being rehabbed? I can't remember. Huh?
Far view.
That's what it was.
Mesa Verde.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
I forgot about that. I just was thinking about that building, I think is round or half roundish as well.
Abandoned.
And then this was the same trip. We were staying in Kanabe, Utah. And I really loved this hotel. It had so many like fun Western desert motifs, but again, in like a very modern style. And I loved that there were all the elements as you would kind of expect to find in a themey motel, but they got really detailed. Like even those little clay lanterns on the side, if you zoom in, there's different desert motifs of like a road runner and different vegetation and birds. And so it was just really well thought
Yeah, I mean, I'd
through.
really expect to see something like this in Santa Fe,
Yeah, right?
but in Kanabe.
Yeah.
And Kanabe is near, which national park?
It's by a
Bryce
couple.
or,
Yeah, so when we were there, we drove to all of them. But Bryce really isn't close either.
so Kanabe it's a gateway to the national parks, I think, right?
Yeah, cause you're within decent driving distance of Page and you're like right on the Arizona border and it's an hour, I wanna say hour and a half from St. George, cause that's where we
Okay.
flew into.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, all the parks are like hour to 3 hours. But it was cool. The movie Stagecoach was filmed there, so we watched Stagecoach while we were there, which was really cool. And then this is one of the hotel signs of the Perry Lodge, and there's another photo of it, but I love that it was kind of like just a glom of a lot of different styles of sign. But I really liked all the overlap. These are gonna jump around a little bit, but yeah, so all these hotels are all in the same area. And then this is back to the Western themed one or desert themed one, where again, they have like this central pool, which the structure seems original, and I feel like that's harder to find these days. A lot of the time, those amenity areas are getting sacrificed for parking or kind of built in or they're just really changed structures or they don't exist anymore. So I
Look at
thought,
that
That
roof.
pavement took a beating, didn't it?
yeah.
That roof with the like large gravel is just, oh, it's everything. I love that.
So I liked it still had its little oasis in the middle.
Yeah, and so many of the poles have also been filled in.
Oh. Yeah, a little bit.
Oh yeah, this is one of the little road runners on the lanterns.
They look like they've actually maintained it pretty darn.
Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised. And people were staying there. Seems like a clean hotel.
It's like some of them in Estes Park. There's some really good ones that are still maintained that are up in Estes Park too.
It's like something growing on the roof.
Oh, I think that's
Just the
yeah,
road
I think
on
it's
the other
the shrub in the back, but you're right, it does look like it, the same
Yeah.
color.
Yes. Some crazy aggregate, that precast panel.
Well, and they have various sizes, like they have the rough stone in some sections and it's almost like they have a large, medium, small aggregates displayed in different parts of the building.
Hopefully that's what was available.
Yeah. And then this is another hotel down the street. I couldn't find a photo. I don't know if the sign was gone or if I just didn't take one, so I don't have a name for this one, but I love that it had a lot of original character to it. And it really felt like the roadside motels that you would picture if you're on a road trip or in that era.
Branch.
Yeah, I think we were there in October, so it was around Halloween time.
It was our Halloween decoration, just the one faux spider in the front.
You went back in time, Bree. Look at the forties flatbed in the reflection.
Yeah, right.
There was another, I think it was at the Perry Lodge, they had an old, like a 20s or 30s car parked in front of it. There was a lot of nostalgia. Oh yeah, and then this was the Sun and Sand Motel, which I have a bigger photo of it, but I loved the detail shots of this one in the Perry Lodge. And even that not all the neon was working in this one, there still graphically was so much going on. It was just a really interesting sign.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then these are the rooms from the office shot before. But again, like I love that they still have the painted door accent and matching chairs, like how the rooms are at an angle, so you get this little stepping effect.
They each have their own little front porch,
Yeah.
weeping mortar.
Found the way to tell a true vintage motel chair from more modern one is the shading of the frame. Those are new ones. They're straight sections. Old ones tend to be more curved.
Huh.
Yep. I studied up on my motel chairs.
I have an old one in front of my not so project house anymore, but I painted it to match the front door.
There you
ironically.
go. Or yeah, I think we
It's-
probably
and
did
it
the
stayed
doors
with the
to match
house.
the chairs on that one,
Yeah.
right, yeah.
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 True.
They're, yeah.
Oh yeah, I guess this Red Hills is now Best Western, so if you want to add it to your map. And then this is the larger Sun and Sand. So you can see a little bit of the motel. This one, it had been modified a lot, but it's cool that you can still see the round portion of the hotel, which I don't remember if it was still restaurant or if that was check-in, but there were parts that had been altered. And then we're back to Colorado Boulevard. This is another sign that I like to check on, that I'm sure Alan sees all the time too. So this is the back, what I call the back side, because it's the more worn side.
This is the one by Evans, isn't it?
They're like the US West relic.
So now an apartment building 5 feet away from this though.
Yeah, the big giant.
I was
ugly
like,
thing.
Well, and Crown Burger is right next to it.
Yeah.
Oh, is it the Carol?
Which side gets more beat by
It's-
weather?
near the Cameron.
Yeah.
But it's on Colorado.
It's south, it's south.
Yeah, the Cameron's a little east.
There's a dry cleaner.
Yep.
In the building.
Yeah. So Tony, my recollection is when I'm taking this photo, I was facing north, is my recollection, looking up Colorado
That would
Boulevard.
be the south side of the sign.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is the south side of the sign for sure, as I'm thinking about it. There was a cool sign.
There's front.
There
Oh,
was
yeah,
a
it's
cool
the
sign on the
Deco.
first store that's like on the other side of the intersection from here, close to the Natural Grocers, and I noticed that sign is MIA. I don't know where it went, but there was like a cool sign from the fur and like sheepskin store, and I noticed it's missing its signage.
A little Mohawk carpet sign.
Oh, I
That's still
almost, I
there?
almost put that in here. I took a photo of that too.
It's the one
Is,
that's
but
the
it-
like
the sim-
sheepskin.
The arms
Yeah.
are missing.
Yeah.
It's in bad
Yeah.
shape.
And there's like a shrub growing up around him. It's hard to see him now. Okay, now we're back in Utah. This is the
Oh,
Perry
this is
Lodge.
great.
That looks like it should be in cars, like,
Right?
like that's such a good
Yeah.
shot with the.
Those are all little individual light bulbs on the lodge letters. aren't they?
Mhm.
Yeah, channel letters of bulbs, that is really unique.
That's a neat one. Especially with the scenery in the background.
Mm-hmm.
Too bad it's a modern building in the background.
That might be our slide deck.
Yeah, now we have Adam's big tops. Which I'm glad you put that in there because I was thinking about that too. I was gonna
You wanna go out?
Sure. So who here is familiar with the big tops?
Woo.
Most of the room, I'd say. Good. This is actually is an illustration off of a picture I found of a big top matchbook. And I just tried to replicate it in Adobe Illustrator. But if you go to the next slide, my keen interest in big top happened last year when I found out that this building in the Harvey Park area was up for demolition. Somebody was getting a demolition certificate on it.
This
So-
is like your federal and,
This is roughly Jewel and Federal.
okay. Near Taco
Um,
House.
So I wanted to learn a little more about these. And fortunately, because it was up for demolition, the city actually did some research on it, found out who the architect is and things like that. And this is one of actually this is one of 16 locations that had been built in the 1950s and 60s. So I went and tried to find all of the ones that are still standing. Fortunately, this has not been demolished at this point. In fact, I don't think the project that got its certificate is ever gonna move forward, so this one continues to live on as country gas. We'll go to the next one here. This one was the first one built right here, still operating. And this one opened in 1958, I believe. And these opened as basically little 7-Elevens, actually. Would have been competitors to 7-Eleven. And so it's still operating as like a little mini mart here. It doesn't have gasoline or anything like that. We actually went inside and you can get pastries and Mexican pastries and things like that inside here. And this one's right on Federal Boulevard around, I can't remember what the intersection is, but this is what it used to look like. So one of the big things you'll notice is that the entire front wall was glass. So this was really what they call a catenary roof over a glass wall. So it really would have been a powerful statement when this was designed.
And they call it a midget supermarket?
A midget supermarket,
I know, I was like, what's that?
a mini mart.
It's the traditional corner grocery store gone modern. I love that.
Denver's first midget supermarket. The new market is the first of 5 to be built by Automart stores. This is before they were known as Big Top. And actually, they didn't open the 5 that year, at least from what I can tell. It actually took them a few years to get that many built. It says the steel and glass building is circular in shape with an all merchandise near the central check stand. Specially constructed islands carrying much of the merchandise radiate from the outer walls toward the center of the store. Quote, the glass walls will enable busy mothers to make their few needed purchases while keeping an eye on the children as they wait in the car.
And obviously.
That's a great.
Yeah. The idea of the market is to provide for the customer who wants to pick up a few fill-in items. And of course, it was open from 7 AM to 11 PM, like 7-Eleven.
I imagine they sold candy cigarettes too.
Probably.
They probably sold regular cigarettes
Yeah,
too.
So you can see this is February 1958 is when this,
Wow.
so that was
Yep.
around the
Yeah.
time that that first one opened. You can see the Auto Mart sign up above the building.
There was one
I
at
like-
Cherry Creek also.
Yeah, that's what I thought. There was one in
Avenue.
Cherry Creek by the cleaners there.
Yes,
Yeah, and that's been torn down and it's a UC Health facility.
Yeah, they were all over town.
Yeah.
There's one near Josh's house, 74th and Federal is one of the locations.
And we're looking the whole way through it, aren't we?
What's that?
We're looking the whole way through it in that
I
photo.
think so.
Yeah, it says we're set up to provide a large number of items with the least possible loss of time getting through the store and back to the car.
I mean, you can
that.
see the shelving right through the windows.
Yeah.
What do you suppose the term convenience store
did,
got?
and I can't
Because that's what they're selling.
Yeah,
I mean,
pretty
you know,
much.
Auto mart, pulling
So
your
the-
car, run in, run out, leave a little basket.
The architect of these buildings is a guy named Bill Sayre.
Yeah.
And Bill's
I know
program
him.
was to build something ultra modern, something that was ultra modern and made out of glass, and this is what he came up with. So if you wonder, you know, the store was called Big Top. If Big Top drove the design of the roof, it did not.
Yeah.
Actually, the design of the roof led to it later being named Big Top. Actually, they held a contest
Really?
for the naming of the store in 1959, and the winning name of the contest was to call it Big Top.
Wow.
So what do you suppose motivated taking out the glass? Economic considerations.
Probably he.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. that-
So in this ad, it doesn't have a name.
It's called Auto
Automart.
Mart.
Automart.
Automart, yeah.
Was this before or after he did the Sayer house?
That's true.
I don't remember
Yeah,
when he
that's
did
right.
the
Yeah,
Sayer
I guess,
house.
yeah.
So
There's a closer photo of
I
it.
can imagine.
is that a metal
cost-
rod that's attaching all the points?
Yeah.
That line that's there?
Yes, there is like a tension rod, and you'll see it in some of the other photos here. Although it's not on every building, but you
Oh,
can
wow.
see it here.
Oh.
yeah, there it is.
It's like the
Never
last one, those beams under the eaves there, there's the wood laminate, but then there's the steel I-beam in the
Mhm.
middle, and the other one, that was a different building, had the same setup.
Yeah.
Wood laminate and then one big steel I-beam.
Yeah,
Do you think the glass is still underneath all that siding that they put up, or do you think they
that's a
did?
good question. I don't know.
Kind of like the taco house on Littleton Boulevard, where I think the glass is probably still hiding behind
Oh,
that
yeah.
siding.
It's a good question.
I'd love to see what that top mullion looked like.
Right, the
I
curved
think-
top mullion?
I think you can still see it on the, doesn't the Snarf's one on 38th
No,
have the glass open?
No,
It
that's a
doesn't?
new storefront.
no, that's all new storefront.
Any idea on what the catenary curve is made out of?
Yeah, we'll see some close-up photos of it. So there's just a photo of Bill there. Actually, this is in front of the house that he was building over by Denver University. I don't know what year he built that right offhand. And I just shared this photograph here because you can see on the bags there down below that they really saw their building as a branding icon. They used it in their advertising, on the matchbooks, on their bags. It was really symbolic of the store. Now, this one's at Sheridan and First, also a little Mexican grocery store.
No. No, doesn't come out.
And
You
this
think
one,
they-
interestingly, I don't think it has I-beams.
No.
No,
Those are laminated wood beams.
When they changed the glass package, if you look at this one, because compared to the very first one.
This one looks shorter, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it doesn't
Yeah,
look
it
as
doesn't
tall.
look as tall, and you don't have as much what would have been glass towards
and it
going
has,
up underneath
it
before.
has additions on both sides.
Yeah.
Wow.
So this is inside the Snarfs, and this gives you a good idea as to how they were making the catenary curve of the roof. It's basically tongue and groove boards held with this metal strapping between the beams.
Almost like a ship.
So they had a center
Yeah, or like a
column
barrel.
and then like the perimeter.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Yeah, good job, Snarfs.
Yeah, Snarfs did a really decent job rehabbing this building and you know,
And
even though their storefront doesn't go all the way up to meet the curve of the roof as much as I'd love it to, but they did as close to a wonderful job of bringing the glass back as you could.
Does the roof drain into the column?
Yeah, I was gonna ask what you do about
That's a good
snow that
question.
sits on the roof.
Mm.
I don't know how the drainage works on
I think it just looks like it's pitching in, but I think it's
It
pitching
might
out.
pitch out, yeah.
and there's no gutter system on the outer perimeter of the roof.
And I mean, many of these would have collapsed by now with our snowstorms, so they must have done.
Right, and they seem to have stood up.
Where is this Snarfs?
This one's 38, a few blocks east of Sheridan. I can't remember the exact intersection.
It's like there's a big car wash right nearby too. It's like, actually, it's not far from the Alamo.
By
If we go meet-
Wolf Street.
The Highlands neighborhood.
Yeah, kind of near the old Elitch's.
Yeah, you know, just additional information. When Bayer designed and built the sun deck on top of Aspen Mountain in 46, his structure wasn't curved like that, but it drained to the center of the sun deck into a pipe, and that's how they collected water for up there.
I think it's quite possible that's what it does.
Yeah, so that's what I was thinking when I looked at that. It's the same idea where it drained it from the edge of the roof to the center, and they actually collected water for use at the sun deck. So. just a
That's a
little-
fun fact, Dan.
Yep, thank you very much.
Because that center column is just a hollow tube,
Yeah, as long as you do,
so you could run a pipe through it.
Sure.
as long as they do the detail right. Seamless.
Great colors.
Ask the staff members, can I look at your roof? Doing research.
Can you show me your drainage clean out? Answer all my questions.
Our house hanging lights.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah. Maybe he knew Herbert. Maybe he got some tips on architectural design from Herbert.
And I must have accidentally taken the exterior photo out. I apologize. But this one's in Aurora here. This one is Del Mar Circle, now currently being used as a church.
That would make a good church.
It would make a good church.
What is it, the flying, like the flying nun roofs that you see on churches?
I know. Yeah.
That's what it reminds me of.
Yep,
And this is one where Chris Geddes is trying to land. Is it this one she's trying to
this is the one she's working on, yeah.
or designate?
And I think in the next slide, I have a before photo of this particular building as well.
Look how much closer together all those straps are, those
Yeah.
steel straps. And the decking is wider plank.
Mhm.
I bet it's not tongue and groove.
Mm.
And
It's
that
funny that
one's
they're
got-
all just a little different.
Uh-huh.
There's what it used to look like. It's beautiful, transparent window wall.
Wow. I love the lights following the beams too.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. It would be great to see all that glass back.
And none of them have it.
Nope.
I think it might have been for security too.
Quite possibly, yeah.
That has the glass.
Actually, I think you're right. I think this one might have the glass.
And look at that, there isn't a top mullion.
Why would they box in the roof?
Right. So this one has a little strip mall addition on it, and I imagine that probably the box end of the roof happened with the strip mall addition.
Right.
But I think you're right, Josh. I'm gonna have to get closer to this one and see what's going on with the glass.
It does look like it's
Because
underneath.
it does die right into the roof
They
there.
killed the roof, but they're like, no, we'll leave the gas. Where is this one?
This one's in Applewood.
Well, that's probably why I haven't noticed this, because it was Got the box and roof, and I just drive
Yep,
past it.
you wouldn't even guess that
They
is.
did resist the temptation to hang a mansard off of it though.
Now, I got another one of those coming.
I was gonna say, I bet you it had.
Just
a
wait.
mansard. How much said it had a mansard in the sixties, and then when they redid it, they took the cedar shake
Just
off.
you
They
wait.
did it.
Oh, wait,
There's-
this is on
This one's on Leetsdale, yeah.
Yeah, I never would have guessed that was a big top, ever.
No.
That's sad.
Never, ever would I have guessed that was a big top. That's sad. I know that building. I've driven past it.
I used to get my cleaning done in Smithfield.
Does
I
it
used-
look her
I used to live right up there. I didn't really pay attention. You know, it is with your cleaning, you're always in a hurry and.
Right,
it's like-
right.
They probably dropped the ceiling in it.
They probably did.
I don't remember there being a high ceiling in there.
This one almost looks like it has the glass though too. If you look at this far left corner, it almost looks like it goes up.
Wow.
Oh, now I'm curious.
This one is being used as a coffee shop.
Which is also a good use for 'em.
Yeah.
Sandwich coffee.
This one's in Lakewood.
How's the I-beams?
And the owner of this one said that that the Lakewood preservation people approached him, trying to convince him to bring the glass back. He's like, I can't afford it.
Yeah.
It does look like there's mullions there, though.
There are.
It almost looks like they put wood boards over the top of
Yeah,
the glass, so I almost think the glass is like lurking in there.
Might be.
Could be.
The wire fences up hanging.
Yeah, what's that all about?
Yeah, I'm not sure what that's about there. Pigeon, I
I
don't.
was about to say pigeon.
Pigeons.
Probably for the birds, pigeons.
At the low point, though, like at the curve.
And this one's over by Alta Vista in Arvada.
Yep.
And this one still has gas as well, kind of like country gas over in Harvey Park. Now, another fun fact about these stores, and I think if you go to the next slide, there's a little news article about it, is that they are the first location to provide self-serve gasoline in Denver. And by some accounts, the first place you could get self-serve gasoline anywhere in the country. There was a system that was developed here in the Denver area, which this article talks about, called the Supertron system. Now, of course, it wasn't like you have today where you could use a credit card and activate the pump on your own, but you could go in the store, pay for your gas, and then they would activate the pump from within the store. So it was a remote controlled system. Then you go back out and fill up your car and it automatically stops at how much gas that you paid for. And that was an innovation that happened here at the Big Top stores.
pretty
Oh, wow.
That's interesting.
Didn't know that.
Mhm.
Phenomenal name. Supertron.
Supertron.
Does that answer have any relation to Casey answer?
I don't think so. But this is the dawn of self-serve gasoline.
And you get wholesale prices
Yeah.
What?
because of that.
And you can see 6 states.
And then I added a couple bonus slides at the end of completely different topic, two bonus slides, but no, one bonus slide. Because this is kind of what prompted us to come up with this topic.
Yes. Wow.
So this is on Broadway, across the street from the Goodwill in Englewood. And at the top is what it originally was built as, a Beefeater restaurant. And below is what it is today, Fast Cash Pawn. But this was designed by Norton Polivnik, the guy who designed Josh's house. And so I figured I'd share this too, because it's kind of a neat building.
The sign was really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't see the sign before. That's super neat.
Reminds me of Bastien's.
I almost put that in my
Yeah,
slides.
what's?
Bastion was such a cool, I mean, that has almost a big top kind of look to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally, yeah.
Sugar steaks are really.
It is so. one
I
my
have a
favorite
lot of
restaurants.
pictures of
I love
kids.
it, like,
Do you remember what year he did this?
I don't remember offhand.
That's what they tore.
I know this store got a bad
It's gonna
rap after
become that
Columbine for a while
West
though.
Station.
What?
But the sign they cut.
The
it
store
down.
also looked quite a bit
Smashed it
different,
around.
even a few years ago. They had a different color scheme that looked better than.
Wasn't it green? It was like a bright green, wasn't it?
I don't remember. I took pictures of it, but I can't remember.
I feel like it was bright green and then they painted it. I wanna say it was,
These fast
Like a
cash,
Kelly green.
because it used to be Alpha Pond.
or was it blue?
It might have been.
Sad now, isn't it?
It's kind of sad.
But it's still
Except they
standing.
kept the windows.
But it's still
All the
standing.
windows are there, almost all of them.
And do we think those are gel, like can't figure out what, if those are bars or if
Oh,
they're.
those are security bars.
Yeah, but I was like, I always wonder, I drive past that building almost every day.
Bars, yeah.
What is it that, what's Marcel Breuer's, that restaurant?
You showed me a picture of it.
Yeah. The
Where was
window patterning, the shape of the window, even the kind of the shape of the building is similar.
Oh, is that brick facade just covered, you suppose?
It's right there, it's just painted.
It's painted, okay.
Painted that
Yeah,
beautiful
the
yellow.
spectacles.
That fast cash pawn yellow.
It's so bad.
I got a couple slides.
Right in that area, there's some like that little pocket, there's like 5 or 6 really great buildings.
There's a lot of good buildings with that stretch of Broadway.
Are they recognized and are they getting more recognized?
No, they're not recognized at all.
Just in the time I've been here, I've seen some really groovy stuff.
There's a few
Small
buildings like
motels.
Just let you know, it's
it's a little office
59.
building called the Martin Building that
So we might
it's
have
made out of,
to
it's made out of stone,
stop if
like
people
moss
need
rock,
leave
and they
at
just painted it
9,
white.
then we can
Oh, and
years,
so
but-
Ish knows the owner of that building, and she was very proud that she made it not an ugly brown anymore.
Oh, shit.
At 9 PM.
Yeah.
Came to my soul.
I've got the big top in Cherry Creek, a photograph.
Oh,
of
nice.
That, so.
Oh.
I want that.
I recall pointing out one of those motels to a younger person I was with. And her response was, that looks skeezy.
But it comes,
So-
because you pay a premium to stay at
Yeah.
those fun little hotels, because they've done a good job of rehabbing them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
well,
language.
yeah, it's a generational thing, I think. Ash is probably gonna get really misty-eyed about 90s architecture.
Please no.
I didn't think
Really
it was
happened.
appropriate to give a roadside architecture talk without talking about Louis Armet and Eldon Davis of Armet and Davis.
May
Can I have
Davis,
the light
all the
fixture that was
diners.
next to him,
Yes.
please? And that last side, I just want that light fixture.
Isn't that great?
Oh, wow.
They look like little flying saucers right next to his head.
On a higher this is just a side note, but on a higher quality image, this glass or this ceramic tile wall here, you can actually see these red tiles are kind of wavy. And there's a story about the project manager that worked for Armet Davis, did 90% of the projects there. Helen Fong, she was also the interior studio. She was notorious for going into projects done, getting out red fingernail polish and painting murals on some of the tiles. And I kind of suspect that that's why these have this, and you can kind of almost see the texture there in this. Isn't that a little wave on it? It looks like it's painted. Anyways, of course, the crazy coffee shops and all the stuff in LA and the big giant roof and stuff that we've given programs on here in the past. Carolina Pines, none of this is here, but it's a flavor of their work in, crazy roadside stuff. They're all about this, this roof is icon, like Big Top, Huddle. And despite the fact that they were across the country, they were doing each restaurant, they were crafting an identity for that particular client and crafting a unique restaurant for each one of the sites. Norms, probably one of the more famous ones. And I understand that the real iconic Norms in LA right now is under some serious.
Oh, they saved it.
It's good.
Is it?
It's good. The uproar actually worked.
Yeah.
And they're keeping it, they're gonna keep the sign, and the Raising Cane's is gonna try and figure out, they were gonna always keep the building, but they were gonna like completely remodel it, I guess. But now they got so much help that they're gonna try and maintain it. I don't know exactly the plan, but they said, oh, okay, we're not gonna touch it.
So we were.
Now your clicker.
The clicker doesn't work. What the heck?
Tap on the current screen and see if that helps.
Oh,
Oh, whatever. Ooh, now nothing works.
Oh, there we go.
there we go.
Okay,
Now try the click.
now try the clicker.
There.
Ooh, if we could make restaurants appealing, make you feel good when you're in them, then we've done our job. That's Helen Fong with her red fingernail polish. Anyways, the one that is probably the most pertinent to us is the White Spot restaurants, right? Everybody remembers White Spot around town. And Armet and Davis did much of their later work. And one of the locations here, which became ultimately Tom's Diner, they did not do Pizza Hut, but what their approach to architecture really inspired was something that they jokingly called roof-itecture. And obviously, we can identify even a Chinese restaurant that used to be in an old Pizza Hut by its roof. The Dairy Queen, the same thing, right? The Mansard, the Burger King, we know that roof. A&W, of course, that crazy roof. All of these fast food places, right, adopt the roof-itecture, and, you know, even Big Top.
Even Big Top had
is
roof
doing its thing.
Yep.
McDonald's, of course, but our White Spot locations and these great interiors that they did. So the Armet and Davis projects that we all think of out in California, we have a number of them here. And that's Tom's, which, you know, I had the pleasure of.
Just reopened
working
again.
on. Yes,
Something else.
Champagne Tiger.
Champagne Tiger.
I can vouch for the cocktails and the drinks and the food are good.
Are they?
So, yep. We were just there the other day.
That's pre-restoration. The Denver Diner was another one. It was the sister to the Tom's building.
They did Denver Diner?
Yes,
Oh, I didn't realize that.
that was, if you notice, it's exactly the same building. Look at the front, this elevation here. That's the same elevation.
It is.
It's even the same roof. The other ones, okay, so where are we at here? No road signs, but we're on
That one on
East
Hamden.
Colfax.
Oh,
White Spot Coffee Shop, always open. Of course, we've got all the blinds closed in this beautiful glass box. They're cooking in there. And that's it today.
Where is
Los
this again?
Burritos, East Colfax. I can't remember.
Yeah, I was
what
gonna
the
say.
street is.
isn't there one on Tamarack, like near Hamden and Tamarack too?
I don't think it's an Armet and Davis. I don't think
Okay.
that
I
one's.
feel like
Armet
there's
Davis.
one on Alameda like this.
Of course, that was,
You know,
this was out on
Meets
Colorado
down.
Boulevard.
Yeah.
And Arkansas.
Yeah.
And that's a similar version, but it's slightly different. And it ended up as a Hooters and now it's gone. But it's been replaced with a really well-done strip center.
Yeah, I actually don't hate the building.
It's a very
but I
nice-
do miss that building.
Yeah.
and behind that, that's the,
It's a Century 20.
yeah, the Century 21 movie theater, which was a Crowther project.
Yep.
28th and Arapahoe in Boulder. This is another Armet and Davis. Bob's Big Boy. The big arched roof. That's it right now. I took this picture quite a while ago now, but this is it. And of course it is for lease. That's what it looked like before. That's the.
Wow.
How
purpose
does
of it.
How does a city study like this pan out across the nation? Is there any other cities that have this kind of a collection of architecture that's so unique besides Denver?
I would say yes. But we have a high concentration of modern
Yeah.
architecture for certain.
And they've been, a lot of them, it seems like they've been maintained. Some-
Oklahoma City has an incredible amount, but unfortunately so much of it is gone.
Oklahoma City?
Yes, so much there, especially the churches.
Ah.
Very mid-century, very
Oh,
goofy.
really?
Yeah.
Did they do all those Denny's with that crazy roof line?
Yes.
I never.
Every
I've
one of them.
always wondered.
So all those stupid Denny's, you know.
Like the one that's right there at-
Country, they did them all. But they're all subtly different. And if you look at them, you'll see that they're adapted for each one of the sites. So while it is a prototype, it is modified at each location. And then obviously then Armet and Davis own the design, right? So they get paid each and every time. This is one of their, kind of one of the Denny's that I think of. I believe that was the first version of it in 1957. This is a later one that you see a lot more of. Wood shake up here as a screen to rooftop equipment, but this funky folded plate with these crazy beams and all this, you know, goofy stuff. There's a version of it down in Colorado Springs with all of its stuff along the front, lopped off, and a little wall.
I have a
put up
picture
in
of this
front
one
of it.
too, because I hit a restaurant one block over and I walked over and took a picture.
It's sad. It all pulled
No.
out.
There's the one too on between Santa Fe and Calumet, right there, right before you get on the highway.
Yes.
There's that one. The one in Fort Collins is actually a pretty good one. I
Well,
haven't
don't
seen it in a
ruin the
long
rest
time.
of the show.
Oh, it's not up to Denny.
40th and Peoria. This is the other version, right? The community stands up and we save Tom's. Tom's Diner gets saved. No one's ever gonna save this. And it had just as much thought behind this one as was in the Tom's. I think it's interesting. And they're, like I say, they're all subtly different to it, be adapted for their site and things like that. But that's the Denny's.
Well, do you think it's because they didn't maintain their vintage aesthetic for probably more than 10 years? They probably got remodeled on the inside every time being a Denny's?
But I also think it is,
No, the actual building itself is modified each time for its site. In
Well,
most
I'm just
cases.
more wondering if, because Denny's, because they're a giant corporation, they update like.
Yeah.
All
They
the stores
serve-
like Red Robin and everything update every 10
Yeah,
years.
I
and
mean,
I'm
these
wondering-
were all updated.
That's probably why people didn't have as much heartfelt for them, because like Tom's was almost original. These, you don't get to go in and have that nostalgia, like Tom's looked the same.
This looks
As when I was a
exactly the
teenager.
same as it did. New, it's different colors.
they're also more common, like the Pizza Hut, like,
Yeah.
those are you see this everywhere, so you don't think, oh, there's a
That's something.
roof texture to Denny's that I see only in Denver, like Tom's. Well, that's not the only white spot for Denver, that's the one that we think of and the one that we still have, where we have however many handful of these Denny's still.
We have probably hundreds. thousands. Anyways, here's one, 40th and Peoria. Lots of times these Denny's were in conjunction with some motel of some kind. There we go. 16th and Federal, there's another one. I love the shape of this thing, and that soffit continues through and informs where the counters are. It's kind of fun. Alameda and Santa Fe, boy, same deal.
And that one just closed, didn't it?
Did it just close?
So.
There's it in its original colors. So this is what that project was supposed to look like, or that prototype at least.
The recent Denny's Diner thing ever make it to this region? Out in the Northwest, they went retro. And they had like stainless and tile and kind of a real strong
Yeah,
50s
diner,
vibe, but there was
diner.
only a couple, 3 or 4 of them, you know? I imagine it
Enjoyed
didn't
it.
pencil out, but.
I was just in LA and up in Hollywood, there's a Denny's that on the, one of those websites that rents restaurants that we all use, maybe Yelp. It was one of the top rated
Right.
for affordable meals in that area of LA, Hollywood, so, yeah.
But there they are, doing their thing, even here in Denver. Were there any other slides?
That's it.
We're on time then.
That was great.
Wow.
Can you go back to the start of your presentation, Josh, just so the people on the.
Oh, yeah, so they can see
video
it. So you had some really good slides in there. Let's not forget that they did tiki bars too.
They did.
These are just works of art.
So aspirational.
Yeah. I wonder who did these illustrations. And if you can actually get posters of them, I mean, this is so cool.
I would buy
Colors, the
posters.
trees,
of these.
the lettering.
They live in their
Everything is
archives.
So cool.
And Alan Hess did a book with them
Oh.
during COVID, and they got some of the archives opened up. But they have most of the drawings for the project. But we did Tom's. They didn't have the drawings anymore for that location, but they had them at another one. It's just sitting in flat files in the back of the office. Because Armet Davis is still around. And as a matter of fact, the designer on the ugly late 60s, 70s ones we were just looking at, he owns the company now. So he's still there. They do, I think, Taco Bell's.
That makes sense.
now. But
That's
their
a
bread and
distinctive
butter,
Yeah.
interestingly, their bread and butter was not coffee shops, but that's what everybody knows them as. It was churches. So it was big picture, really, really big ideas. There's an element of some serious architecture in this.
God mine, we have to add them to our list.
Me too.
Well, and that's the theme for Docomomo this year.
Yeah, the themes.
On slideshow.
Which actually, that's a great prompt. So Docomomo National every year, they set a theme, and last year's theme was corporate offices. This year's theme is places of worship. So we are planning to do some sort of, we're tagging it God mod for like church modernism. We have a ton of wonderful examples in Colorado.
Colorado has so many.
But
So
any
many.
in particular that you guys are familiar with or you know of in some way,
And
because
so
we're
they
just
need to
trying
sign
to
off on
compile a
every
list so
meeting.
that we can figure out some sort of tour or program or how we want to
Yeah,
share those.
Wow.
I just noticed.
Yeah,
one
even
thing, there's
the
no
place I grew up,
right here.
that's serious architecture.
Colorado Boulevard and see, you turn in, see, I'm not from here. You turn in, you take Leedsdale essentially to Colorado Boulevard, and
Oh, yeah,
then you
yeah.
turn north, there was a large like,
So then you're in the
like-
Jewish, a heavy Jewish neighborhood and they have a ton of amazing mid-mod buildings.
yeah,
So-
yeah, but I've meandered through there, but this was a Christian church of some
Okay.
sort.
Yeah.
It had been boarded up
Oh.
for years, and it was, I'm guessing, built in the thirties.
They actually have a great school that's right by there
Right.
too.
And they have
it
cops
has-
directing traffic.
Yes,
They have some well-heeled
yeah.
parents
Well, and
there.
I was walking by the school to take a photo of the roof and I
Yeah.
realized, I was like, oh my God, I look so sus taking photos of a school during the.
Yeah, if you see something, say something.
Oh, are you thinking like Below Academy on Leedsdale?
It's by Zadie's Deli.
Oh.
It's like across the.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Hello
Okay.
Academy.
It's a beautiful
Okay.
neighborhood.
And unfortunately, right, I mean, yeah, right now
I don't think you get
security
in
has
there for
become
less
a
than
really
couple
big
million these days.
thing. So
Used to be
anymore,
full of beautiful
unfortunately, I don't
custom
take
mid-mod
pictures of
homes. A lot of them have been knocked down.
places of
Really?
worship.
Yeah.
with everything
Well,
else.
Oh, yeah.
I remember,
But I have
you
connections.
get
to
stuck in
Temple Manual.
traffic on the main drag, you try to
Yeah.
find another.
Before it
side,
gets
even if you
too
don't
late,
know. And that's how I end up.
any other announcements before we adjourn? Bill Rob, the program next month, that's gonna be exciting, and lots of new buildings that a lot of people are not familiar with, so. Looking forward to that. Anything else? Can I hear a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Yeah,
Second,
yeah, it is.
Second.
Don't need
all
a
in favor,
second.
say aye.
Okay, yeah.
Thank you.
Guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
What's
Thank
cool
you.
is they just,